Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I am going to do the collective tarot for today. Today is Thursday, January 19th, 2025. You may follow me on the Talk, the Tube, the Lemonade, the Blue Sky Social, Pinterest, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, God's kiss. Whatever doesn't, just leave it on the table for someone else. You don't need to be taking on energy that wasn't meant for you. I love how I always seem to forget something, or I think I'm going to forget something. We're using Intuitive City Oracle by Rob Barthelman. You can find this on intuitiveintention.com, My Intuitive Intention on Etsy, and he also sells his decks in the TikTok shop. I hope you all are having a great day. It's beautiful here today. We got one on the top. Okay. One on the table, two on the table. They're both majors. I was going to say one on the tower. Can you guess what card it is? One on the tower. Oh. Okay. Ooh. We got 5 on the table, 2 major. Hold on. Okay, we got 6 on the table, 3 majors. Two more shuffles. 7 on the table, 8 on the table. Holy shnikes. Okay. We got 8 on the table. We've got 5 majors. Remember I was just saying the other day, like, it's really weird that we've only been having like 1 major. Yeah, now we got 5. Now we're back to the same old, same old. Last shovel. 9 on the table. 5 major. Oh. 10 on the table. 5 major. This card always wants to come out. 11 with bottom of the deck. 5 major out of 11 cards. Bottom of the deck is Last Judgment. Oh. Oh, okay. Top of the deck, we've got Knight of Wands, the Sun, 7 of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. Someone's going to find out something about some betrayal. It says dishonesty on the 7 of Swords cards, but that was not the word that I was looking for. Someone is going to find out about some type of betrayal, and it's going to close a cycle. Like someone, like, searching for answers, thinking something might have happened, and then finding out, oh yeah, something happened. And this person is, you know what? I'm going to let this go. I'm going to move on with my life. I'm going to let this go. Somebody closing out a cycle after learning some information. A betrayal. We got the Tower, the Magician, Four of Cups, Queen of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, the Lovers, Temperance, the Hierophant. We got Four of Swords, Four of Pentacles, and bottom of the deck, Queen of Swords. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. It doesn't matter, right? We're all just energy. Some days I feel like a dude. Some days I feel like a nut. It's energy. Someone's going to be in their head about a lover situation coming in. Now you can definitely. Sorry, my earring keeps flipping back and forth. It's been driving me nuts for days. You can definitely apply the Lovers card to like a work situation, career, that kind of thing, office, that kind of thing. And for some of you, that might actually be the case. Because somebody with the Magician card, like somebody was manifesting in like new love, connection, that kind of thing, union. I think for a period with the Four of Cups, I when the Four of Cups came out, I just heard like somebody doesn't give a shit. This, like, whoever this is, you, someone else. Like at first, I didn't really give a shit, and then with the Queen of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, like this is someone that really manifested for their future, really manifested for a connection. And whatever the connection is, whether this is really another person or somebody manifested for like their career, it really doesn't matter, honestly. It could be either or, depending on your situation. Take how it resonates. And I'm going to tell you why. Because whatever the connection is, whether it's a job, whether it's a person, it's going to really stabilize somebody and kind of change their, I want to say thought process, but that's not even really the words I'm like. I don't know. It's gonna change. It's gonna change like their. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Like this connection is gonna bring them peace, happiness, joy, comfortability, rest. Okay. Like somebody might not have to work as hard as they used to. And that goes for a relationship, whether, or they could go for a career, The thing that I'm seeing that really jumps out at me and has jumped out at me since these cards fell out is like somebody or something is going to come in and teach someone what it is to not be material driven, not be like money driven, not be like I gotta have fancy things driven, not be like, oh, I need a $3 million mansion or I haven't made it. It's like somebody's gonna teach somebody that sometimes living simply is the best way to live. And again, if this resonates for you, I don't know. And if it's two people, okay, if this is not a work situation, I don't know if it's you teaching another person this idea or if it's another person teaching you this idea. Either way, with the Queen of Wands, it works out. It works out, and it's gonna, I mean, not that the connection isn't already balanced, but it's gonna bring even more stability, reliability, because two people are gonna be on the same wavelength, if that makes sense. Now, if this is a career, if this is like a job, somebody, you possibly, has issues with money, has issues with abundance. Um, you get the dough in your hand and you spend it right away, right? Some type of issue like that. A job, a career is going to make it all fall into place for you. You're going to realize what's really important and what's not. And maybe actually start saving money instead of constantly spending money, right? And I'm not calling judgment. I'm not slapping you on the wrist or anything, because I've told you guys before that one of the things that I probably have the most problem with in my life is spending money. I kicked the alcohol, I kicked the drugs. I've been celibate a little over 2 years now, but I will tell you, I still have problems with money. I still have problems with money. And I probably will always have problems with money because just like anything else, you're constantly healing, right? I think I've told you guys this before. Like, I can go periods where I don't spend money. I buy my necessities, I pay my bills, I buy food for me and the cats, gas for the car. I'm good. I can save. And then I go through periods where I'm like, oh, I want that, and I want that, and I want that, and I need this, and I need that. And I was talking to a creator on TikTok, and I think I told you guys about this. I think she had made a post about how she feels like that sometimes, right? Like she just feels the urge to walk into a Target and spend like $1,000 that she doesn't have. And somebody had told her, just go to the store, put the items in the cart, and then leave the cart and go home. Like, just like pick it like you're gonna buy it, but then don't buy it and leave. Because she's thinking it's some type of craving, it's some type of mental craving, right? So if you do the picking, but then you ditch your cart before you go and you just leave, maybe you'll calm those cravings to spend money. Sometimes I feel like I go through those periods where I don't spend money, and then the reason why I go through periods when I do spend money is because for 1, 3, 6 months, like I'm ignoring everything materialistic. I'm ignoring everything. I'm not paying attention. And when I come out of that 6 months, it's like, oh, this came out and this came out and this came out. And they're all things that technically I could use. That some things you buy because you want them. Sometimes you buy things because you need them. But I find too that a lot of times as an adult, there's a lot of things out there that I probably should buy and should have, but I don't. Because sometimes I get it in my head like, oh, you're spending too much money, like you can't spend any money. But there are things out there that technically could be considered a necessity. Like, like I'm going to have to buy something at some point. Yeah. But even a job, if you go from a job where you're making like 50,000 a year to a job where you're making 80, obviously you're going to have a little bit more money in your pocket at some given point, right? Like being quote unquote materialistic might not be so horrible as long as you still recognize, yeah, okay, you're making $30,000 more a year, but that doesn't mean you should go out and spend $30,000 more a year. You should be saving most of that, right? Or try to. I know it's hard because, the economy and people living paycheck to paycheck. I completely get it. I 100% completely get it. There are some weeks where I feel like I can't spend a dime, and there are other weeks where I'm like, I do my little calculations in my phone, and I'm looking at how much I have in the bank, and I know how much I have coming in for paychecks, and how much my bills are going to be for the most part, and it's like, ooh, I might have a little more of a chunk than I thought I was going to have. Either way, it's going to be good. It's going to be good for someone. Because again, if this is a person, they're going to show this other person like, you don't need to spend all your money on this stupid shit. Like, abundance doesn't have to be billionaire status. Let's talk about billionaire status. Let's talk about billionaire status. I heard this. I keep hearing this. Oh, billionaire status, billionaire status. What do you think billionaire status is? Because when somebody says billionaire status, I don't necessarily think of a billionaire. I think of a person that lives their life as if they have money when they don't. And I don't even necessarily mean that like in a negative way, like a materialistic way, although you could look at it like that. I mean somebody lives their life as if they're so abundant, even though somebody else might look at them and say, "Hey, you're not abundant." And I was really thinking about it. I was really thinking about it the last couple days. Because I think what triggered me on it was, I think Tuesday, something on Tuesday. Because to me, and I'm not trying to sound like an ass, and I'm not trying to like overplay myself, but like to me, in my opinion, I live billionaire status. Like, I love my life. I love my life the way it is. I for the most part, love my job, love my work friends, my colleagues, my friends, my family. I love where I live. I love staring out this window as I'm talking to you. Do you see the red fence and the patchy garage roof over there? I look at that every day. It doesn't bother me. I love it. There's birds out there. I love the birds. It's cloudy right now, like it's gonna rain. Love it. Like, I don't know, like, and I've said this to you guys before, that I always think of myself as being abundant, even though other people might look at me and be like, "Oh, you're poor. Oh, that's your job, or that's all you make a year." Yeah, and yet I'm perfectly happy for the most part. Like, to me, that's billionaire status. Like, I live my life as if I have it all. Because to me, I do have it all. Even if somebody looks at me and is like, like, you read tarot, you work for a medical supply, you look, because everybody else is so great out there. And that's the thing. People look at other people and they're like, the grass is greener, the grass is greener, got to keep up with the Joneses. And if I can be brutally honest, like, I've had family members close and distant family members that were like that. They constantly had to have what the other family was having down the street. And I witnessed that in certain family members, and I just knew, like, I didn't want to be that person. I just want to be my own fucking person. I just want to do my own thing. Like, even when I was married to the ex-husband and we had our house, and we had a pool and he had a man cave, and it was a tomb. Don't get me wrong, beautiful house. Beautiful house. I loved that house. I didn't love it at first because it wasn't the house I wanted. It was the house he wanted. I did not love it at first, but I did come to love that house. I really did. Um, but in actuality, it was a tomb. Like, it was a facade, Like, I wasn't really that happy there for the most part. And it gave people the perception that we had more money than we had, and that we could, afford certain things that we couldn't afford, because again, in that relationship, in that connection, I was paying for almost everything. I was trying to, you know. It was very difficult, very very draining, mentally, emotionally, and physically. It was just like, when I look on it now, it was a nightmare. And do I look at the ex-husband as a nightmare? No, I don't really look at him as a nightmare. I and you guys know how I feel about this. If you follow me on the regular, I tend to put the blame of our separation, our divorce, and even our whole marriage on me, because I knew. Like, I knew. Like, I married I was with him and I married him because he was a project, because he needed a mommy, he needed help, he needed someone to love him and watch over him. And that's what I did. That's what I always did. So that's what I did, right? And it only took me however many years later to realize I don't want to be somebody's mommy. If I'm going to be a mommy, it's going to be to a little kid, not a grown ass adult. So I put a lot of the blame of our relationship, our separation, our divorce on me. I for sure do. I for sure do. Do I recognize his part in it? Of course I do. Of course I do. Does he? I have no idea. Maybe, to a degree. I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to ask because I feel like I feel like if he gives me the answer that, that I don't like, I probably would probably would blow up at him. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, that place was a tomb, and people would look at us and be like, "Oh, like, you got this $250,000 house and you have a pool. Like, well, how cool are you? You have a pool." Yeah, I have a pool that, only I take care of, if I remember. I was the one that always wanted to go in the pool, even though he was the one that wanted the pool. And how many thousands of dollars did we put into that pool? And half the time he didn't even swim. Yeah, yeah. That life, I was bound to that life in shackles. This life, I love my life. I've even said before, I want to get in a relationship again. I want to be with another person. I want to be in a connection. It would be so hard for me to, like, move out and give up my condo and move on, and, not be so independent anymore, and actually, have somebody else to look after and look after me. Like, it would just be, whew, it would be a challenge for sure. And to get back into a connection, but not go back to the way I used to be in a connection, because that was toxic. But you never really know until you jump off that cliff and you get into that connection. And you just have to tell yourself you're not going to do what you always did before. But again, I think now, because I love my life this way, I almost sometimes feel like it would be the opposite. If I get into a connection, I'm going to still be too independent, and somebody's going to be turned off, you know? Anyway, I think I live an abundant life. I think I live a billionaire status life. Tell me in the comments how you feel about it. And I understand some people will just correlate that to money. Like if you're not a billionaire, you're not billionaire status. I get it. That's literal. But to me, it's not literal. To me it's just feeling. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the read. I hope it resonated. I hope you liked my blabber, my blubber. No, blather. Is it blather? I'll never look that up. I hope you all have a great day and or evening. I hope y'all have a great Friday. I'll be on tomorrow. I'll do affirmations in the morning, and then regular readings in the evening. Sunday, I volunteered to work, so I don't know what will happen on Sunday. Because I gotta be honest, if I come home from work on Sunday and I'm too tired, I might not do readings. I just gotta be honest. I might try to make up for it on Saturday or Monday. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. I hope everybody has a great night, a great day. Like I already said. I'll talk to you later. Bye.